Amtrak, the United States Official Rail Passenger Corporation. Founded in 1971 after Nixon signed the Rail Passenger Act of 1970, Amtrak is the savior of passenger trains and having well-known trains such as the Cold Starlight, the Southwest Chief, and the Revived Floridian, using the combination of the Capital Limited and the Silver Star. But there's one thing Amtrak has in common with every Class 1 railroads: the Heritage Units. Heritage Units are special locomotives representing the railroad's heritage. Best example is the Union Pacific Railroad Heritage Units. Like every railroad, Amtrak will pick out random locomotives to represent their heritage. But they decide to pick each locomotive for one specific paint scheme Amtrak locomotives wore back in the day, like Amtrak P42DC number 160, the Pepsi Can Heritage Unit. This scheme represented Amtrak's P42 BWHs wearing this paint scheme when they first came to the railroad. As of 2025, Amtrak has a total of 27 heritage units in operation, but there is one locomotive that managed to survive to become the heritage unit that never gives up. This is the tale of Amtrak 145. Let's head back to 1993. Amtrak's aging fleet of F40PHs reached the number of years of service life for Amtrak, which is typically 20 to 30 years for locomotives. Amtrak had planned to replace them with the new GE Genesis series locomotives, but after the delay, the P42 BWHs filled in the gap and worked the F40s until the first GE Genesis series models, the P42DCs, arrived on the roster. With the new P40s arriving, the F40PHs will be retired in the early 2000s. During that time, Amtrak's new P42DC locomotives arrived on the railroad, with 207 being built number 1 to 207. One of the locomotives, number 145, is our main focus for this video. Amtrak 145 is a GE P42DC locomotive built by General Electric in February of 2001 as part of the GE Genesis series. She is the 145th P42DC built, hence her road number being 145. She is used on Amtrak's network and holds the long-distance and short-distance trains like the Empire Motor, the City of New Orleans, and even the Cascade service. And despite being new, she also holds the American Orient Express train. She continued pulling passenger trains for the next 10 years up to 2011, where everything changed with this ordinary locomotive. In May of 2011, it marked Amtrak's 40th anniversary ever since its founding in 1971. So Amtrak decided to have 6 locomotives to be repainted in their previous paint schemes, which are Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4. In 145's case, she was repainted to Phase 3, and with 1971 and 2011 written on both sides on the locomotive in honor of serving passenger service in the country. But she wasn't alone, as 2 other locomotives were also painted into Phase 3. Those engines are A22, a GE P40DC built in September of 1993, and a rather recently rebuilt NPCU at the time, F40PHR 406, built in January of 1988. And if you're wondering what the engines that's repainted to Phase 1, 2, and 4, those are 156 in Phase 1, 66 in Phase 2, and 184 in Phase 4. Apart from repainting engines into previous liveries, a special train was set up named the Exhibit Train. The Exhibit Train was made to showcase the rich history of the US government's railroad. The train consists of an athlete cafe car, 3 baggage cars, and a heritage sleeper. These 5 cars were reconfigured for the train, with the heritage sleeper being used for the cruise, the baggage cars were used for house exhibits, and the athlete cafe car was used as a guest shop for people to buy. All 5 cars were repainted to Phase 3, but one more rolling stock would also be repainted to Phase 3, Amtrak 10031, named Ocean View. This car has a unique history, starting out as Great Northern in 1391, before falling into the hands of the Burlington Northern in 1970, before Amtrak in 1971. But that's a different video for another time. Before 6 engines becoming heritage units and the exhibit train ready, Amtrak's 40th anniversary had begun, with the exhibit train heading to various places, and with P40DC A22 and MPCU 406 being the powers of the train, while for 145 and the other 3 continued pulling Amtrak's regular trains. But on August 27, 2011, 145 will lead the exhibit train after The train arrived at the Albany Rensselaer station in New York. The train left the station heading to its next stop, with the Phase 3 trio taking the train. A sight that you will never see in a lifetime. In September, the three engines arrived at Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of Steamtown, USA, with the exhibit train. The train would leave Pennsylvania 2 days later and enter back in New York. After the run, everything returned to normal, with 145 continued hauling trains across the country. 145 continued hauling trains with the other units got great adventures until April 2012. 145 would be chosen to haul a high iron rail excursion named Southern Explorer. She will haul the train throughout the states of Missouri and Oklahoma. A month later, in May, 145 along with 406 would take a social excursion in Chicago, Illinois. The concerts just made a simple line, nothing else. Before returning to regular service, 145 and the others continued hauling passenger trains and 822 hauling railroad coaches. That's something. Back to the topic. Then in November 2013, 145 with 822 both hauled the Autumn Express train throughout this northeast corridor. Even after hauling the train, the two Genesis engines were paired up again with train number 91, the Silver Star, and train number 19, the Crescent. The two locomotives would go separate ways in 2014. 145 would be paired with other locomotives, such as Amtrak P42DC 42, the Solution Readiness Unit, leading 822 again, and being saved by a BNSF SP40-2. On February 19, 2016, 145 and 822 would take the inspection train from New Orleans, Louisiana to Jacksonville, Florida. For context, Amtrak planned to extend the route of the Sunset Limited back to Miami, Florida after Hurricane Katrina in 2005. As of now, New Orleans is the final destination for the Sunset Limited, and plans for the Florida extension are still in view. The train left Florida 2 days later. In October 2016, 145 will lead the Autumn Express train again for P42DC 42 and ACS 64 642, another readiness unit throughout the states like New Jersey and Pennsylvania in the Northeast. 145 returned to regular service in 2017, but in March, 145 and 822 took the regional fun train through the state of California for back to passenger service. It was tasked again to take the AAPRCO train in Fairfield, Illinois. She will hold another excursion, this time the 440 excursion in October 2017. We powered another special train with 822 and 156, being the Falls Colors New River Goose train. Looks like 2017 is the year where 145 shined. But when 2018 rolled in, she started rough. On January 31st, 2018, 145 was in charge of yet another special train, taking train number 923, the Congressional Special, using the concerts of the Cardinal. 145 was leading the train, while P42DC number 4 was at the rear of the train. Politicians and lawmakers from the Republican Party were on board the train, heading to the Greenbrier and Salisbury Springs, West Virginia. Meanwhile, across Virginia, a dump truck operated by Time Disposal was at Lanetown Road. Dana William Naylor Jr., Dennis Eddy, and Christopher Foyley were inside the truck at the time. As the dump truck was sitting on the railroad crossing, the crossing is activated, and the 920 special came to view, doing about 61 miles per hour. The crew blew the horn on 145, trying to alert the dump truck, but it was too late. 145 struck the truck at 11:16 a.m. Her leading truck left the rails and the left side of the nose was damaged. The dump truck was also destroyed, but it was in pieces. One person died, which was 28-year-old dump truck passenger Christopher Foyley. After the crash, number 4 took train 923 to Salisbury Union Station, where the passengers were being transferred on buses to resume their trip to the Greenbrier. An investigation was launched, and 6 agencies joined in the investigation to the cause of the accident. The National Transportation Safety Board, the Federal Railroad Administration, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Albemarle County Police Department, Amtrak, and the Buckingham Branch Railroad. On February 21st, 2018, the NTSB published a preliminary report on the crash. When the train stopped its brakes, witnesses claimed the gates were already down when the truck entered the crossing. On June 8, 2018, the Albemarle County Police Department announced that Dana Williams Naylor Jr. had been indicated on one count of involuntary manslaughter by the Albemarle County Grand Jury for the death of Boyle. Naylor was also charged with one count of mutilation while driving under the influence for causing permanent physical damage to Eddie. Naylor was ultimately acquitted in both DUI, maiming, or something like that, and involuntary manslaughter charges in 2019. As for 145, she was taking the Beach Grove Shores in Beach Grove, Indiana, which was luckily repaired and returned to service. Today, 145 continues on the rails to this day, hauling passenger trains across the United States. However, 145 and her left remaining members in service are at risk of retirement due to the new AOC-42s arriving on Amtrak. She has a chance of being scrapped, converted to an MPCU, or preserved. For now, she roams the rails to this day. Now you may be thinking, why did I choose 145 specifically? Well, not only is it my favorite, she's truly the only 40th anniversary P42DC locomotive left on the roster. What happened to the other 4 P42s? Well, 66 got into the wreck in 2017 in Dooley, Illinois, followed by 156 and 822 in 2020. But unlike 145, these wrecked P42s weren't repaired, and 156 was the first Amtrak Heritage unit to be scrapped in 2025. As for 194, it was also involved in the wreck in 2024, and repaired by the cost of one thing. She was repainted back into Phase 5, and she became the first P42 to be converted into an MPCU like the F40s, and was renamed to 9702. But we are 130, 164, what are you talking about? How about you shut up? You shut up and let me explain. The reason why I don't count 130 and 164 in this is because they were never planned to be 40th anniversary locomotives. 130 was repainted into Phase 2 just to replace 66, along with 164, by about the years 1921 and 2011 being written on it. As for 406, the effort continues pulling trains on the Downeaster as 9406, since it's going to be an AOC that's probably number 46 in the future. So, with 3 40th anniversary units out of action, 1 in the MPCU, and 2 being replacements, is what made 145 stand out from the rest. She will be known as a true 40th anniversary unit.